Gad Daddy,
Yeah?
do you know what the fear of other people's opinions is called?
No.
Aldodaxophobia. Aldodaxophobia aside, I hope we're all buckled in and ready for another adventure out on the world famous Reedy Creek. Cause boy, we're gonna get some gold. The fear of long words is the hippomonstrostis equipedeliophobia, but we're out here crevicing today. Not gonna need you, sweatpants. How very wrong I would turn out to be. I thought I was only going to need a crevice hook and a little spade. And that's because at the time of filming, we'd had no rain for almost 3 months, meaning the creek was dry and it was still hot, which at the time meant we could get into places you could never get when the creek was running. Look at all that tasty bedrock. And that small, tiny, swamp-ass piece of water. Gadsy's taken to me. Gadsy's taken to me. Gadsy, you've taken to me. I have. Gadsy's taken me to what I can only describe as Crevice Bonanza City. It is a Martian land full of potential, hope, and
It's
goodness. It's so impressive I just get to wear sneakers and not my sweatpants. There is something to be said about the difficulty of having too many options in front of you. You kind of just have to pick a spot and hope for the best. Which is precisely what the Gad Daddy was doing. Now we only had extremely limited amounts of water to process our dirt, which was good because there was no leeches, but it was bad because we had to walk our dirt to wherever the water was. Oh, look at those dexterous fingers. And you would think that the best gold you would find would be in a deep crevice normally covered up by a lot of water. But after a few pans, I would discover the best gold was not in fact in the crevices, but in the swamp. Oh, yeah, there's still some gold there though.
It's a bit.
Spots like this are really about gambling. You just gotta stick your tools into many crevices and hopefully you walk away with something worthwhile and no diseases. About 3 years ago I went up there and I creviced out a little pocket that gave me some good gold. So I came down here and stuck my shovel into that hole, and it's not a bonanza, but it's a decent start. Now, because we're operating under a real-life treasure hunt scenario, you have to remember that we're hunting for treasure, and it usually takes a little bit of time to nut things out. We are really comfortable with finding quite a lot of average gold, or even no gold at all, because that's what it takes to actually find the gold, of which you can see a little just there. One thing I love about crevicing is that it is potluck. You never know what you're going to get. You could be millimeters away from a good deposit, and this one actually looks alright. It did look alright, but there's much better in this spot. This is going to get edumacational for about 15 seconds. The reason that crevices, just like these ones behind me, are so good at catching gold is because they act like a massive sluice box. They're creating friction in the water, and gold's so dense it travels along the bedrock and it slips into them. Once it slips into the crevices, it can't get back out. Get in the bucket! With the edumacation over, it's a poignant point to make that you don't really know where the gold is. It's just guesswork. Yeah, it's educated guesswork, and it's the product of tens of thousands of pans and tens of thousands of hours invested, but you really are just guessing. The good thing about finding gold is that we now know that there are golds around to be found. I hope we can keep finding golds today. Every pan's been super consistent. We're getting specs, but we're not getting Bonanza City specs. Just like some of the relationships I've seen online, we can definitely do better. Now, you would think with all the emphasis I put on how much work I just did to get that dirt out of those crevices and how much rock I had to pry apart and move, that it'd be a decent pan. But you'd be wrong. It was pretty terrible, actually. Well, I have to put them on. These are now necessary. I want to go into the deep water. We've got to go get moist for the benefit of all mankind. Gold tends to collect in the deeper waters. It just does. And normally I would be completely submerged if this creek was flowing. It's not flowing, so I have an opportunity. Now I just have to not fall over. Trying to make it to this rock. Success. Exploring the depths of the swamp was kind of fun. Would I find gold? Or would a crocodile eat me? Ah, the questions you gotta ask yourself as an Australian. Gadsy! Are you rich? Yeah. Taking me bucket for a walk. Oh, the black sand is coarse. It is nice. And there's a tiny lead dildo. But I mean, most importantly, from one shovel, I got about 50 specks of gold. And 50 is more than 49. And my God, there is a lot of garnets in there. Get in the bucket. You can actually hear when it's going to be a good pan. Listen. We've got really nice, coarse black sand, lots of gemstones. So we know we're in the vicinity of a good deposit. The gold isn't spectacular. It's about average. So we know if we keep looking, we might be blessed with a bonanza city. Maybe. You didn't tell me there was a competition on today?
Yeah, there was.
Sponsored by Dare, Gazzy won a brand new truck.
Hot Wheels truck. Look at that.
Your new whip's
yeah.
sick, bro. It took me a little while, but I finally cleared away all the rocks from around where the pay dirt's sitting. This organic material with all the grass and roots in it is seemingly where the gold is hiding, but unfortunately it's hard to access because basically this, with all the boulders and bedrock drop-offs, just continues under the water. So you're trying to deal with that in waist deep water. Ah yes, supple, younger, less back hurty, Chris. You mean knee depth. I mean, it's right there. Look, it's at your knees. And it would have been over your shoulders back when there was water in the creek. But we digress. The main goal of gold prospecting is to follow gold to better gold, and that's what I had successfully managed to do. I knew the good deposit was somewhere around here. Now it was just a matter of accidentally stumbling across it. I'm more impressed with the garnets here because there's a lot of them. There's not overly much gold. Oh, we got a bit of Torms. A wee bit of tourmaline for our efforts. Heaps of coarse black sand, heaps of gemstones, and just like enough gold to keep you interested. We call this motivation gold. It's like, yes, you're making money. Not a lot, but enough. You should probably keep going. Here's some gemstones to give you some eye candy to look at. They look even better in the sun. Those ones could be mistaken for popping candies. Gazzy wants to lick them. And so it continued for a few more pans, until eventually we stumbled across where the gold was really accumulating. And then things got good and sexy. For all those prospectors sitting there right now thinking, sexy? Yes, sexy. Look at that black sand. Look at those gemstones. That's motivation right there. I definitely enjoy spots like this. I mean, the gold could be better, for sure, but the black sand is so full of gemstones, and they're very pretty to look at. People always ask what I do with them. Nothing. I put them in jars and I break them out when family visit. I'm like, look at these gemstones. And they go, ooh. Ah. Because we are still getting golds, and gold's over 150 Australian dollars a gram at the moment. That is a lot of doll hairs. That flake's probably worth like 5 whole cents. Finally! Look!
It's went shovel.
Yeah, I was close. I'm digging over here, and I was like, oh, I'll find it. And I started working this way, and then Gazzy went over there and found it. He found it.
Yeah, see, I did all the testing through here.
I also managed to find slightly more gold by moving down further. Who would have thunk it? Oh. Oh. Clay. Yeah. This is the stuff. This is the stuff dreams are made of. Right. Hopefully, this will be a bit better. The black sand is legitimate, as opposed to that illegitimate black sand. And I can't do this one-handed. I'm professional, but I'm not like professional. You know what I mean? Like I'm that handyman that rocks up and you're like, yeah, he fixed the cupboard, but we had doubts. The gold's kind of camouflaged in amongst the gemstones, but it's a lot better. There's a much better spec count. And that was mostly just clay with no rock in it. So let's get some clay with some rock in it. Get in the Sydney Tools bucket. And then suddenly, a snake. That is a red belly black snake. So it thinks it's a
stick.
It's a stick. It's doubled itself up. Its head's right where its butt is. Now this will probably irritate a few people, but I firmly believe that a good snake is a live snake, not a dead one. Because sure, they've got toxic venom, but if you stay out of their way, they generally stay out of your way. And they also like killing mice. Mice that have fleas. Fleas that have the plague. And I don't like the plague as much as I like snakes. And with that handy dandy rant out of the way, it was back to digging really stinky clay. Gazzy's found a bolt. I found a mystery rock. Yeah, I think that might be I don't know, it's really heavy. I'm thinking it might be a spinel. It doesn't look like a super worn tourmaline to me. It looks too different. I think that's a really big spinel. If there are gem people in my video who know stuff about stuff like this, tell me what you think this is, and if you get it right, which we will not be able to confirm, I'll put it in my special place. I did dig over there, and guess what? Mwah! Best pan of the day. Best pan of the day. Bonanza City, man. Momentarily. All jokes left right where they are. This is a good pan. I want another one of them. I want 2 or 3 more of them. I want 5 of them. There's going to be so much black sand to go through. Get in the bucket. I got another one. Oh, another good pan, baby. We're going to be rolling in the specks later. Just rolling in them. I mean, it'll be a small pile. But it doesn't matter if it's a small pile because, like, how many piles of gold do you get to roll in your life?
So we just met a little sliver friend.
A river friend, I like that.
A sliver friend.
A sliver friend. Every single pan has gold. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. None of them I can reveal with one hand. It's probably clear by now that gold fever had me by the nutsack. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm okay with that because, man, it was a good day and we were finding a lot of gold. Shameless spruik, I've got brand new merch up on the old moldy. Dirt Empire is live. We've got north, south, east, west compasses made from naked ladies' legs. And I bet you don't have that in your wardrobe. Gadsy's lost his sieve. And this is my last pan of the day. We're getting nice sized flakes for Reedy Creek. They're pretty decent. And it's just a buttload of garnets. So many garnets. Unlimited garnets. One day we're going to find the reverse of that. Like mild amount of garnets and some gold. Hey! Hey! You got it! With the water levels so low, it was an amazing opportunity to get into the creek and work some areas we could never get into when the water's flowing. And some recent research from Cambridge University has come out showing that subscribers of Vo-Gus prospecting find more gold. So just give that little subscribe button a bit of a tickle down in the bottom corner. It took an age to get everything cleaned up, so let's get the gold on the scales. There was so much black sand and gemstones to go through. This took me a solid 3 hours to clean up. But it was well worth it. Just look at how much gold we got out of that deposit. No one had touched this area in a long while. Grenade for scale. My best guess, which is usually wrong when it comes to these sort of guesses, is going to be about 1.1 grams. Which at the time of recording would be worth about 167 Australian dollars. Oh, we're going to do this. Wow, okay, we just blew past that. 1.28. 1.56. Oh my god. So that's worth 263 Australian dollars. Not too bad.